Okay, this is camera 3, our camera jib or camera crane. And what this camera is used for is mostly getting hard to reach shots and things from extreme angles to add more of a variety to our IMAG shots. IMAG means image magnifications. That is, the person on your shot on the side screens should appear larger than they do in real life if someone was looking at it with their naked eye. And it's also to give us forever I am changed. Back here by a couple different devices. And the monitors down here, we've got the tripod that holds it up. And this is the crane arm or the boom arm. And of course there's a bunch of cables over here. There's a few rules we try to employ with this camera. And one of them is we don't want the crane arm going over anybody's head, especially in the audience. Another rule with the camera is because of so many wires on here, we want to keep it as tidy as possible. Cables being managed off to the side. We want River Point to look as neat and nice as possible. When the camera's not being used, it's pushed over to the side and carefully stowed away so that it is out of the way of people who are trying to get to their seats or leave during service, or whenever the camera's not being operated, it needs to be put away. So turning on the jib, we start with the camera. The on switch is here. It gets flipped up to on. Then we go back to the back end of the crane. The joystick is turned on here. And then the monitor is turned on down here. The unlock for the jib rotating is this lever. So now the camera can rotate. So now the jib can rotate freely. And then we also on the other side need to unlock the up and down motion. And that is here. So we unlock that. And now the crane freely moves up and down. If it's not a smooth movement, then it's not unlocked completely. If the camera needs to move freely while you're operating it, the feet do not need to be locked. And they typically don't need to be locked even whenever you're not using it, so you can keep it unlocked. But if you do need to unlock it, you kick the brake and it comes undone. Just kick it. Don't try and do it with your hands. The limitations on how far we want to go is typically about this line here. You can see it run down the side of the steps. So this is about as far as we can go with the jib. This is a do not do because it's over people's heads, or it will be if they were sitting in the seats. If you need your camera closer, you push on this thing and it rolls to where you need it to roll. And you're free to move within this entire area anywhere you want with your crane, as long as it suits your shot and what you're doing. Sometimes it may be even on the opposite side of the stage. If power doesn't come on to some of these things, we need to make sure the power cable is plugged in. There are two lines coming off of the jib. There's the line that takes the video signal and takes it to where it needs to go, and then the power plug. And the power plug is normally plugged into the wall over there. You want to use what's called the rule of thirds. And that is, if you draw a tic-tac-toe line on your screen, you want your subject to fall on one of those lines. The space in front of him is called his nose room. The space above him is called his head room. Now this would be improper nose room because he's up against the screen like he's not supposed to be. If you want to give him more nose room, it's like that. If you want to give him more head room, it's the space above his head. So typically when you have a shot going on, you want to transition your camera into the shot and have it land on a proper rule of thirds shot like that. The last thing you want is the subject's head in the middle of the shot like this. That's a bad shot. So the crane has 4 movements. There's craning up, craning down, craning left, and craning right. So those movements are coming as far as directing the actual camera itself, not back here. So if I'm craning up, I want the camera to go up. If I'm craning down, I want the camera to go down, not back here, not what my hands are doing. That's different. You need to be thinking about what your body is doing relating to the camera. I want the camera to go up. I want the camera to go down. Tilting up, tilting down, panning right, panning left. It's important to us that panning and tilting aren't confused. Panning is always left and right. Tilting is always up and down. So you'll never pan up and down, or you'll never tilt left and right, but you will pan left, pan right, tilt up, tilt down. In the right hand, you'll hold the joystick for the robotic head that pans and tilts the camera. And your left hand will be the zoom out and zoom in controls for the camera. This also controls your focus and your iris. So the jib can offer a combination of movements. For instance, craning left and panning right, keeping the cross in the shot. With the jib, we're working on slow, smooth movements. So this is too fast of a movement. You'll run out of space before your shot is done. So we'll change our speeds here to where we can get a much slower movement. And the speed of which the panning and tilting move with the joystick is how much you push on the lever. So if I just push a little bit, it'll barely move. And if I crane up at the same time, it creates a nice looking shot. Now what we don't want are jerky panning and tilting, that is bumping this. Now the crane, we can have more of a movement like that where it speeds up and slows down. But the robotic head, panning, tilting, we want to keep that smooth. So find a speed and then move your crane to match it. Sometimes you have to slow your crane down, sometimes you have to speed your crane up, but always keep your panning and tilting at a smooth speed. It's okay to stop, but once you stop, don't start again in the same shot or it looks like you've made a mistake. Now, a neat shot to get is starting on, say, something back here and bringing it into your final shot. Let's say there's a drummer back here and you want to reveal the cross. So you'll start with the cross out of the picture and bring it in. And when your director tells you you're live, that means somebody can see what you're doing, and you need to keep everything you do smooth and slow. And when they tell you you're clear, that means you're off and you can go and find your other shot. And it doesn't matter what you look like. Now, when the director says stand by or start your move, you will have picked the type of shot you want to do. And your director will say, okay, go. And then you'll start your move into your shot. A lot of this just comes with practice. Keeping the cross where you want it on the screen can be kind of difficult, and I'm slowing my crane down just a little bit as I'm keeping my panning smooth, steady. During the specials, we keep IMAG shots. During the choruses, wide flowing shots of the stage and the band looks pretty good. Practice makes perfect with this thing. So making your image darker, we're going to press the F+ button, restricting the amount of light that comes into your camera. To make your image brighter, we'll press the F- button, allowing more light to enter into the camera. To control your focus, pressing the up button on the focus pushes the focus away from you. If you want to bring something into focus closer to you, press the down button. And you want to use your monitor to judge your focus. So up pushes the focus away, down brings it towards you. So if you're going to end on a shot, if you start with a wide zoom and you're going to zoom into the bongos, for instance, if you don't have your focus before you start that, it'll look out. So what I'll do is I'll figure out where I want my shot to end, get it in focus, and then pull out to my start position, and then begin my camera move. So the kind of commands you'll get from your director are stand by, you're live, and you're clear. Stand by means get ready to start your shot. So if you have a shot in mind, you'll get prepped to start it. When the director says we'll probably give you the go-ahead to start your move, and then that person will tell you that you're live. And that means people can see you, so keep your camera movements smooth and slow. And if you run out of space for your jib movement, just find a good place to stop and linger there. You have to wait for your director to tell you that you're clear. Now that means you can move on to a different shot or to a new start position, but you have to wait till you get the clear. Now if the director forgot about you and moved on to another camera and says camera 2 or camera 1's live, then you're off the hook. So if there's something wrong with your camera or something's not working properly, the best thing to do is to check the connections. There are a lot of connections here. This connects to the camera, so does your monitor down here. We have power connections, connections to the back of the monitor. We have a bunch of connections flowing up here to the robotic head. We want to check all these connections going into the camera, power, all that stuff. So that's the place to start with troubleshooting. So with camera 3, have fun. Be on top of the shots that you know you're going to have coming up in your service based on your rehearsal and run-through time, and be anticipating those things. And be safe and get some great shots.
Yeah! Keep those hands clapping, church. Your love never fails. All right, let's all sing together. Wind is strong.
Day, oh, you washed my sin away. Oh, happy.
Let's sing that again. Your love never fails. All right. Get those hands clapping, y'all. You may.
Oh, no, Lord, forever I am changed. Oh, yeah. Woo. All right, thanks for singing with us. Why don't you take a moment, say hello.
Oh, your love never fails.
The King has come from heaven, and all the world will know his name. His victory.
Stand together again. Sing with my. Let's stand and sing together. Faithful
Savior lives. Oh, sing it again, 'cause my Savior lives. Now I stand on what he did, 'cause my Savior lives.